What's up, everyone? I'm here. We got the number one freshman in New England right now, Mr. Jaxsen Bailey. Just placed at Fargo in both styles. Jackson, how we doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing very well. Happy to have you on the show. It's going to be a good episode. Someone of your caliber. It's going to be great. So,
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show.
of course. And, quick little rundown first before, we really get into everything is who is Jaxsen Bailey? Because, this is my first time really talking to you. I've seen you wrestle a couple times, but, who is Jaxsen Bailey?
I wrestle at a GFA and Southside. I've been with them for about a year, and yeah.
I hear it, dude. Just, average, you're 14, right?
15.
15, okay. 15-year-old kid grinding the sport, dude. And,
Yeah.
how did you get into it? Was it like a family thing, or did you find it yourself?
No, my dad put me in when I was about like 4 years old because I was kind of just like a wild kid, had a lot of energy, and ever since then I kind of just loved it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Was that a Plainville youth club or a club in that area?
I wrestled for Bristol Gladiators for a year, and then I went to KT Kids.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, what year did you start, making the move to travel to Southside and stuff, because that's Fairfield Bridgeport area is a little bit of ways away from Plainville, so.
Yeah. I think it was last year, that summer before I won the Triple Crown.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you mentioned KT Kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think they're not even around anymore, right? I don't think so. Yeah, it's a shame. I remember they were always one of the top clubs back when I wrestled years ago.
Yeah.
So, you wrestled on the international scene a little bit too, which is, pretty remarkable doing that at such a young age, and not only, competing on the international stage, but having a little bit of success, right?
Yeah. I won Greco at the Talent Open, and I think I got fourth in freestyle. I don't really remember, but yeah.
Placed. And,
Yeah.
What was that like, just seeing the different country styles, and did it make you kind of learn more about your own game? You take away things from these other cultures almost.
Yeah, I noticed they're not as aggressive as like we are as Americans, and they're like more like slick, and yeah.
And granted, you were like 11, 12 at that time.
Yeah.
So, do you remember what your mindset was like, heading into this international tournament?
I was probably just pretty nervous. I don't really remember that much, but yeah.
And you placed or you won golden Greco at that tournament, and you placed freestyle as well. And you still wrestle Greco and freestyle, obviously. So between those two and folk, which is your favorite out of the three?
I like freestyle the most, and then Greco, and then freestyle.
Really? Greco more than folk?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I kind of like just parterre and being on my feet. I don't really like top and bottom that much.
I hear. I would have excelled at freestyle just because neutral is always my favorite part of the game, And so walk us through, that year when you won the Triple Crown. Did you expect to do it? Was it, what was it a mission? Did it kind of come out of nowhere? Like you didn't even realize and someone told you?
It was a goal of mine right after preseason nationals. I didn't do that good. I think I got like 6th place, but after that I was just grinding at Southside, and when normal folk style nationals came up, I wasn't really expecting to win it, but then I ended up winning it, and after that is just like my goal was that Triple Crown. So.
And how beneficial do you think the move to Southside was? One of if not the most talented room in Connecticut, if not New England. So you're clearly battling, grinding with everyone there. There's a lot of dogs.
Yeah, I like the transition to Southside. I had a bunch of like different partners there, a bunch of like bigger kids, older kids. So, it was just better practices. Jack's also an amazing coach,
Hmm.
and the staff's really good too.
Yeah. And so what grade were you in when you made the move to Southside? Middle school, I imagine.
I think it was the summer going into 8th grade.
Okay, okay.
So, yeah.
And at that point, or during your 8th grade year when you were wrestling, like let's say the middle of the season, like December or something of your 8th grade year, did you already know you'd be going to GFA, or were you still like a free agent or prospect at that point?
I think I was like a free agent. Yeah, I don't remember when I got in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But when did you kind of realize like, oh, Greens Farms be a good move, good fit for me?
Um, well, since like 6th grade, Jack during Super 32s came up to my family and I and like talked to us, and GFA was always like one of my top schools, and like once I got in, yeah, I wanted to commit. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
Just like Southside, a very talented room. Definitely elevates your game a bunch. But the room is so stacked. This past your past freshman year, you failed to crack the lineup, right? Just because the room is so stacked, right?
Yeah, I couldn't really fit into a weight class. I was just growing like rapidly that year, so yeah.
But does that light a fire under your butt? Where it's like, oh, I got to work hard. I got to grind for this spot. I want to start. I want to compete.
Yeah, I was definitely like grinding. I didn't really like not starting, but it happened, and I just kind of had to grind.
Yeah, it goes to just show, we got a few top 50 teams now in New England, and GFA being one of them. Just the depth of the room. So,
Yeah.
what does a typical week of off-season training look like? Like you're not prepping for any big tournament. You're just out there grinding right now.
Um, we were working with like the CT national team a lot, and just wrestling with GFA and Southside weekly.
I hear. Staying true to the home there.
Yeah.
So this a few weeks ago, or 2 weeks, I think at this point, I don't know. Fargo, North Dakota. You went out there with Team CT. 16
Yep.
was in 126. Both weight classes, both styles. What was the expectation there? What was the mindset heading into Fargo?
The mindset heading into Fargo, I wanted to bring home 2 big stop signs, get first in both styles, but I fell a little short. But I was still very happy with how I competed and how my mindset was on and off the mat.
Mhm.
So,
And you're Connecticut's first dual All-American since one of your coaches, Tim Kaine. So how cool is
yeah.
that, kind of be the first guy since one of your coaches to do that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Do you guys, kind of compare who had the better run or anything like that?
No, not really.
I hear it. So, entering your sophomore year at Greens Farms, what's the expectation? You're gonna stay 126, maybe move up.
I was really hoping to go like 157 to like 175.
57 to 75. Wow.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Dude, that's funny because, wow, you GFA guys just grow because I saw Brighton was already like 144 or something. So, damn.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good one. And do you think like are you one of those guys where you could see yourself keep growing throughout high school? Like, could you end high school as like a 190 possibly? You think?
Oh yeah, I think I could end high school at like 285 heavyweight.
Wow, that would be a big jump. But,
Yeah,
but hey, you got it, you know.
yeah.
And there's I mentioned it earlier in the intro. You know, you're one of the top, if not the top freshman in New England. And you placed at Fargo now. Do you feel any sort of pressure, like there's a target on your back? Now that you're young with all these accolades.
No, not really. Since I'm still like a freshman, I don't think it like really impacts me that much. I just have to keep grinding and earn my goals.
Yeah, that's true. You're still young.
Yeah.
Not a lot of weight on your shoulders. So why not just go out there and have
Yeah.
And lastly, do you want to give any final shout outs to coaches, teammates, anything like that?
I want to give a shout out to Coach Shaney at Team USA. He gave me the opportunity to go out to Nebraska for World Team Camp, and yeah.
Okay, well.
And Honecker for Team CT.
Oh yeah, Honecker, good guy. Is there anything else you'd like to just add on or touch on, Jaxsen?
No, just that Coach Jack at GFA is one of the best coaches I've ever had. So, yeah.
Okay. Just wink twice if he's holding you hostage,
Yeah.
All right.